There is a kind of woman walking on this earth who looks ordinary to the world, yet heaven recognizes her immediately. She may not always be the loudest voice in the room. She may not have the largest circle of friends. In fact, sometimes her life feels strangely different from everyone around her. People misunderstand her. Some walk away from her. And many times, she asks herself a quiet question in the middle of the night. Why is my path so different? But what she does not realize in those moments is that the difference is not a curse. It is a mark, a divine mark. Not every woman carries it. Not every heart can hold it. But the woman who is chosen carries certain invisible signs that reveal her calling long before the world ever sees her success. These marks appear in her struggles, in her faith, in her loneliness, and even in the battles she never asked for. What looks like difficulty to others is actually preparation. What feels like isolation is often divine positioning. And today we are going to uncover these powerful marks. Because if you recognize even a few of them in your life, it could mean that the things you thought were holding you back were actually signs that you were set apart for something far greater. Stay with me until the end, because the final mark may explain a struggle you have been carrying for years. And once you understand it, you will never see your life the same way again. There is something very unique about a chosen woman. Long before anyone sees her success, long before anyone recognizes her purpose, there is a deep sensitivity inside her spirit that cannot be explained by ordinary understanding. While others move through life focused only on what they can see, she feels things in her heart before they ever happen. It is as if her spirit is tuned to a different frequency. Conversations affect her deeply. Environments affect her deeply. Even the energy of people around her can either lift her up or drain her completely. Many times she wonders why she feels things more strongly than others. Why certain places make her uncomfortable. Why certain friendships suddenly feel wrong even when everyone else seems comfortable. The truth is that this sensitivity is not weakness. It is a mark. A chosen woman has a heart that is spiritually awake. Her inner voice becomes stronger over time, guiding her away from situations that would harm her purpose. Sometimes she cannot even explain why she feels uneasy about something, but deep inside, she knows she must walk away. This kind of discernment often confuses people around her. They may say she is overthinking or being too emotional. But what they do not understand is that her spirit is learning to recognize what belongs in her life and what does not. This sensitivity also makes her extremely compassionate. When someone is hurting, she feels it deeply. When someone is struggling silently, she often notices it even when no one else does. She can walk into a room and sense the pain behind someone's smile. This is why many chosen women naturally become encouragers, healers, and supporters of others. Their hearts are designed to carry empathy that reaches far beyond ordinary kindness. However, this gift can also make her journey difficult. Because she feels things so deeply, betrayal hurts more. Disappointment cuts deeper. Words spoken in anger can stay in her heart much longer than she wishes. There are moments when she may wish she could become cold and unaffected like others seem to be. But that softness inside her is not a flaw. It is part of the mark placed on her life. Over time, this spiritual sensitivity becomes one of her greatest strengths. It helps her recognize truth in a world full of confusion. It helps her avoid paths that could destroy her peace. And it draws her closer to the voice that guides her purpose. While others rely only on logic and appearances, the chosen woman learns to trust the quiet wisdom within her spirit. That inner awareness becomes a light that directs her steps even in the darkest seasons of her life. And one day she will realize something powerful. The very sensitivity she once struggled with was actually preparing her to walk a path that only a spiritually aware heart could handle. It was never meant to make her weaker. It was meant to make her ready. One of the strongest signs of a chosen woman appears during the seasons when life becomes heavy and uncertain. While many people lose hope when difficulties come, there is something inside her that refuses to completely give up. She may cry, she may question, and she may even feel tired of fighting. But deep within her heart, there remains a quiet faith that continues to stand even when everything around her seems to be falling apart. This kind of faith does not mean her life is easy. In fact, many chosen women experience challenges that seem greater than what others face. Doors close unexpectedly. People they trusted walk away. Opportunities disappear just when things seem to be improving. There are moments when the future looks unclear and the path ahead feels lonely. Anyone watching from the outside might assume that she will eventually break under the pressure. But something unusual happens instead. Even after disappointment, she finds the strength to stand again. Even after betrayal, she still believes that goodness exists in the world. Even after long periods of waiting, she continues to hope that something meaningful is being prepared for her life. It is not always loud or dramatic. Often, it is a quiet decision made in the privacy of her own heart. The decision to keep believing. There are nights where she sits alone, wondering why things had to unfold the way they did. Questions fill her mind. Why did that relationship end? Why did that opportunity disappear? Why does her path feel slower than everyone else's? Yet somehow, in the middle of those questions, a small voice inside her whispers that her story is not over. That voice is what keeps her moving forward. This unshakable faith is not blind optimism. It is the deep understanding that difficult seasons often carry hidden purpose. A chosen woman begins to realize that the struggles she faces are shaping her character, strengthening her patience, and preparing her for responsibilities she cannot yet see. Every obstacle becomes a form of training. Every delay becomes a lesson in endurance, and every moment of pain slowly transforms into wisdom that will guide her in the future. Over time, people begin to notice something different about her. They see how she continues to rise after every fall. They see how she keeps her heart open even after being hurt. They see how she continues to move forward while others would have already given up. What they are witnessing is not ordinary determination. It is faith that has been tested and refined through adversity. Eventually, the chosen woman understands that her difficult seasons were never meant to destroy her. They were meant to reveal the strength that was always hidden inside her. What once felt like unbearable pressure becomes the very force that shaped her into someone capable of carrying a greater purpose. And when the day finally comes that her path becomes clear, she will look back at every storm she survived and realize that her faith was the bridge that carried her across every impossible moment. A chosen woman carries within her a strength that the world rarely notices. Because it is not loud or aggressive, it is quiet, steady, and unwavering. While others may seek validation through attention, applause, or recognition, she finds her power in stillness. Her peace does not come from circumstances, and it does not rely on the approval of people around her. Instead, it flows from a deep understanding that her life is guided by a higher purpose, and that nothing can truly shake what has been placed within her by the one who knows her heart. This quiet strength allows her to walk through life with grace, even when chaos surrounds her. When conflict arises, she does not immediately react. She observes, discerns, and responds with wisdom. When people speak harsh words or misunderstand her intentions, she does not fight back in anger. Instead, she carries an inner calm that protects her spirit from unnecessary wounds. To the outside world, it may seem like she is passive, but in reality, her restraint is a form of power. A power that allows her to move through storms without losing herself. Her inner peace is not just about avoiding conflict. It is about maintaining her heart in a state of trust and confidence, even when circumstances are uncertain. She knows that no matter how difficult life becomes, there is a purpose behind every struggle. While others panic or complain, she maintains a steady heart, believing that the unseen hand of providence is guiding her every step. This is what makes her resilience so remarkable. It is anchored not in human strength, but in a connection to something far greater than herself. Because of this quiet strength, the chosen woman also becomes a source of comfort and stability for those around her. People naturally gravitate toward her presence because there is a calm that surrounds her, a sense of assurance that everything will be okay. In her presence, others find hope. In her silence, they find wisdom. She does not need to prove her worth through words or actions. Her life itself is a testimony of endurance, trust, and perseverance. Yet, this strength is often forged in solitude. She may have endured long seasons of feeling unseen or misunderstood. She may have walked paths where no one could accompany her and faced battles that no one else could understand. These periods of solitude refine her character, shape her perspective, and deepen her capacity to love and endure. It is in these quiet moments that she learns to rely not on human support, but on the strength within her own spirit and the guidance that comes from above. Eventually, she realizes that her quiet strength is not a byproduct of avoidance or fear. It is a mark, a divine signature on her life that signals she is prepared for challenges that ordinary hearts cannot bear. It allows her to face trials without losing hope, to love without expecting return, and to rise without seeking recognition. And in this, she becomes unstoppable. Her peace and strength are inseparable. Together, they define the essence of a chosen woman who walks boldly, not with noise, but with unshakable certainty. A chosen woman carries a mark of separation that sets her apart from the crowd. It is not a separation born of pride or arrogance, but a divine distinction that shapes the very path she walks. From an early stage in her life, she often feels that the ways of the world do not fully align with the calling in her heart. She may notice that she does not fit in with ordinary patterns, ordinary pursuits, or ordinary thinking. While many around her chase temporary pleasures or superficial successes, she is drawn to something deeper, something eternal, even if she cannot yet fully understand it. This separation is not always easy to bear. It often brings loneliness, misunderstanding, and moments of isolation. Friends may drift away, and the loved ones may struggle to comprehend the depth of her vision or the purity of her intentions. She may feel out of place in social circles, at work, or even within her own family. At times, it seems as though no one truly understands the weight of the calling that rests upon her. Yet, this sense of being set apart is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is a sacred positioning that allows her to grow into the destiny she was designed to fulfill. Because of this separation, a chosen woman develops discernment and wisdom that others often lack. She learns to see beyond appearances, to sense what is temporary versus what is eternal. She learns to prioritize purpose over popularity, integrity over convenience, and obedience over comfort. While the crowd may follow trends or seek approval, she follows guidance from a higher source that aligns her life with a divine plan. This makes her path different and often difficult, but it is precisely what equips her for extraordinary things. The mark of divine separation also manifests in her influence. Though she may walk alone at times, her presence impacts lives in ways that are subtle but powerful. People are drawn to her authenticity, her quiet confidence, and the depth of her insight. Even when she does not speak, her life speaks volumes. Her choices, her actions, and her perseverance leave an impression that cannot be ignored. Those who encounter her sense that she is not like everyone else, that she carries a weight and a wisdom far beyond ordinary experience. Ultimately, this separation teaches her patience and humility. She learns that walking alone does not mean walking without support. It means walking with purpose. She discovers that her true companions are not always the ones who share her physical space, but the ones who align with her vision, values, and calling. The crowd may misunderstand her, reject her, or even mock her, but she learns to trust the process of being set apart. The very isolation that once felt heavy becomes a sacred space where she grows, matures, and refines her character. By embracing this mark of divine separation, she steps into a life that is extraordinary, not because it is easy, but because it is aligned with destiny. She becomes a woman who is unshakable, unwavering, and uniquely prepared to fulfill the purpose for which she was chosen. Those who try to pull her into conformity will fail, because the separation is not a limitation, it is a mark of divine favor, a signal that she is walking a path reserved for the extraordinary. It is the kind of distinction that transforms struggle into triumph, loneliness into preparation, and ordinary life into an extraordinary testimony of faith, obedience, and divine alignment. A chosen woman carries within her a sense of purpose that is far greater than her pain. While life may present trials, setbacks, and disappointments, she understands that her challenges are not random. They are shaping her for a destiny that cannot be achieved through comfort or ease. She may experience heartbreak, loss, or moments of deep loneliness, but even in the midst of suffering, there is a persistent voice inside her spirit reminding her that her life is meant for more than temporary relief. She was created for a calling that exceeds the difficulties she faces. This purpose gives her resilience. When others might give up, she keeps moving forward, driven by the knowledge that what she endures today is preparing her for tomorrow. Pain is never her final destination. It is a teacher, a refining fire that strengthens her character, sharpens her vision, and deepens her compassion. She begins to see that every trial carries a message, every obstacle contains a lesson, and every season of waiting is an opportunity for growth. The things that seem like setbacks are in reality stepping stones toward her ultimate destiny. Because of this higher purpose, she lives with intentionality. Her decisions are guided not by fleeting desires or superficial expectations, but by a deep understanding of the mission that has been placed on her life. She prioritizes what truly matters, invests her time and energy wisely, and refuses to allow distractions to derail her. Even when the path is hard and the outcomes uncertain, she continues with unwavering focus because she knows that a life aligned with purpose cannot be derailed by circumstance. This sense of purpose also transforms her pain into a source of empathy and strength for others. She understands suffering not just for herself, but as a bridge to comfort, guide, and inspire those who face similar struggles. Her journey becomes a testimony, her life a living example that pain does not define destiny. Those who encounter her often leave encouraged, uplifted, and inspired to pursue their own purpose despite the difficulties they face. She carries a light that shines brightest in moments when others might have given in to despair. Ultimately, the chosen woman realizes that her life is not meant to revolve around avoiding pain or seeking comfort. It is meant to fulfill a divine calling, a mission that is bigger than herself. The trials she endures are never wasted. They are the tools through which her purpose is shaped, refined, and revealed. She understands that the greater the pain, the more significant the assignment, and the more profound the impact she can make in the world. When she fully embraces this truth, she walks boldly and confidently, knowing that no difficulty can ever overshadow her destiny. Her life becomes a testament to perseverance, faith, and alignment with a higher plan. And in the end, the chosen woman understands that her purpose is the ultimate reward, far surpassing any moment of pain, struggle, or uncertainty she has endured. She becomes a living proof that when a life is guided by purpose, no challenge is too great, no obstacle insurmountable, and no suffering wasted.